Matthews, episode 11. Joe Stafford, Chris Matthews, former Seahawks Raven, took last week off. A lot of logistics going in the background here. It's Christmas season, Thanksgiving season. We're all moving home. That notice in the background here. I moved on officially back in the parents' attic. With me, as always, Chris Matthews. Chris, my guy, what's going on? How was last week?
Oh, man, everything was great, bro. I've been, sitting down, having time with my family, just, having a good time out here.
That's what Thanksgiving's all about, exactly. So if you guys didn't know, we did miss last week. However, we're recording this today on Tuesday. By the time you listen to this on Wednesday, we'll have a double episode release coming for you. Chris sat down with former cornerback Marcus Cromartie of the 49ers, Cardinals, and a bunch of other teams as well. And also Jadon Mickens, current Tampa Bay Buccaneer receiver for Tom Brady. Had a tough game last night, Monday night, but still a very cool interview. Chris, how'd that show go?
It went great, man. We sat down, we talked about a lot of good stuff that's going on in the NFL. They're both pretty much animated characters in a sense of its own, but it was great, man. I can't wait for you guys to hear it and give me your critiques on it.
All right, so serious question: how did you do hosting? Because I'm genuinely interested. I haven't heard it yet, guys, either, because I haven't got the tapes yet. But how did you host?
Good.
You did good?
I did good. Honestly, I felt like I did really good. Like, it wasn't hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been in the camera before.
Right.
It's not hard just to talk about something, especially that's something I've been doing my whole life. You know what I'm saying? But the only thing I did miss out on a couple things, but I think my guy Kev got me right, so we're good.
There we go. Shout out intern Kev again. Love having you on the team here. But actually, funny you mentioned that. You talk about being on the camera before. I was on YouTube the other day, and I was going through a bunch of Seahawks highlights, trying to get my tape down for Russell Wilson before we go into his game and everything. And I came across a funny video, and it's a video of Jermaine Kearse interviewing you in training camp the year after the Super Bowl. It was just so funny. You're so young in it. It's just so funny to watch. If you guys want to watch it, it's so funny. Kevin, put the clip in here right now, but it's pretty funny interview.
Right there.
Yeah, that's your guy right there too. Have him on the show as well. We're supposed to have him on
absolutely.
A couple weeks ago, but it kind of got messed up. So anyway, week 12 in the NFL was a doozy. A lot of interesting stuff going on. But one sad thing I do want to shout out, we've had a lot of injuries this year because of COVID. The bodies weren't ready to be hit as much as they were. A lot of torn ACLs, Nick Bosa, and unfortunately right now, Joe Burrow, my guy, Joe Cool going down with the injury. Had the torn ACL, the torn MCL, his knee structural damage. Just super sad to see a guy of his talent go down so early in his career. So shouts to Joe Burrow. He already tweeted out 5 minutes after the injury, I'll be back better than ever. I believe it 100%. I am on Joe Burrow's train, but definitely a minor setback for a bigger comeback for Joe Cool.
Absolutely, especially after that tweet that he sent out. That's what officially put me on board of Joe Cool. I'm rocking with somebody whose mindset is right there.
Yeah, it's different energy. Like 5 minutes after you find out your knee has structural damage, you tweet out, you're like, I'm ready to go back on the field.
Yeah.
That's just different energy right there. Getting the games here, though. Week 11, excuse me, not week 12. Week 11's episode 12. Here we go. The Cardinals and the Seahawks, Thursday Night Football. Great game. Yes, phenomenal football game right here. Russell Wilson takes it out 28-21 and really lucks out, really. And I will say lucks out because Kyler Murray still played his ass off. And he was injured a little bit during the game. He sprained something in his shoulder, I believe his AC joint, and kind of looked off after that going forward there. So, hopefully he's recovered nice. Actually, maybe not. He's playing my Patriots next week. So hopefully he's not recovered by then. But definitely still an impressive performance from both quarterbacks. What did you see from the all-star matchup between Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray?
I thought I knew it was going to be a match that we all would want to see. Them guys, they were playing their butts off. I can't front. Like, they really came out to play, especially Kyler Murray. He played a great game out there. He was what was he, 29 for 42, which isn't great, but just what he does on his feet. And still being able to get the ball out to receivers. He's still throwing 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 15 yards on the ground with his running. He's a special person. That's something that we expect, from a lot of great players, and he's starting to show on, to come in on his own and show that he is one of those greats that they picked up. First round pick for a reason is what he's basically saying.
Yeah, most definitely. There's a reason why they moved on from that first-round pick from the previous year. Josh Rosen takes this guy number 1 overall. He's an MVP frontrunner right now, and there's a reason why. Unfortunately, put another front runner with Russell Wilson on the other side of the ball. Part of the reason he lost. But just highlight one thing about Kyler Murray's game. He had 5 receivers with at least 4 receptions. 5. Yeah. Spread the ball around. That's what you want to see in this offense. You run the ball, read option, set up the pass with the read option, and it worked. Granted, they didn't win the football game, but that's the kind of efficiency you want to see from Cliff Kingsbury's offense here.
No, absolutely, and especially when you got a future Hall of Famer in Larry Fitzgerald catching 8 receptions out there, like that just brought me back to the old times of back when he was in the Super Bowl trying to win the whole Super Bowl on his own.
Yeah, I can't even remember the last time he got 10 targets. He had 10 targets in Thursday night. That's a long time ago. So kind of a throwback retro performance for Larry Fitzgerald. Wish he got the W. Also, a little bit tangent here. How good of a Patriot would Larry Fitzgerald make? Like the mindset, everything's the same. Yeah, they would like the mindset. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald is Bill Belichick personified.
Yeah, I think that'd have been a great look, to be honest with you. And him and Tom Brady they would have probably won even more championships. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, it's fun
to have a guy like that on this team.
Right, and it's funny because I was thinking about back to that in 2007. They have the super offense, right? Well, it came out in 2006 that they actually tried to trade for Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
So imagine you have Randy Moss, Larry Fitz, Wes Welker, and the rest of that crew 2007. Are you kidding me? How dominant would that have been?
Brady wouldn't be complaining about not having no receivers then, for sure.
60 touchdowns at least. 60. 60. That would have been an unreal lineup here. But back to the game. The one thing that really shocked me and really was impressive to me was Seattle's defense. 21 points against Kyler Murray. That's pretty damn good considering how effective he's been against all defense, whether it's run or pass this season. The run defense was there, and it hasn't been there all year. It has not been there. You see Jamal Adams flailing and flopping as soon as any running back gets in the vicinity of him, especially against LA. Yeah. And now you look at this game, the top rusher, like 29 yards. I think 29 yards. That's unreal. You heard Kyler Murray to 15 yards rushing on 5 attempts. That's the best way you can do it. That's the only way you can do it against this offense. So shout out to the Seattle defense, maybe finally starting to get that going and to show people, hey, this is a championship team on both sides of the football. We haven't really seen it on the defense yet. Maybe this game is the start of it. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I just feel like Seattle had came out. They were ready to play. They knew the odds were stacked against them. They were considered the favorites, but the odds were still stacked against them on just the talent that they have on their side compared to the Cardinals. So they came out. They were ready to play. Russ throws a quick touchdown. A touchdown to DK Metcalf in the end zone off of a broken play, which is something that they practice on religiously. So it made sense on why he even got that touchdown. But I'll tell you who's the one person who's making everything happen is Hyde, Carlos Hyde. He's the guy who's making things happen for him because now they're starting to be in it. They're able to get a consistent run game instead of getting 1-2 yards. Which in all the sense, I'm not downing anybody in the backfield for the Seahawks, but just being able to get those 5 to 6 yards a carry each time you get the ball is an amazing difference when you're talking about the grand scheme of getting your plays off.
I was going to bring that up, actually. Carlos Hyde, 5.6 yards a carry. 5.6. As long as you have a solid run game behind Russell Wilson, he will do wonders for you. We saw it for 3-4 years with Marshawn Lynch. And they went to 2 Super Bowls with a great defense. Maybe we're starting to see the return of that. Who knows? But Russell Wilson's that much better this time. I'll tell you that. I will tell you that.
And I want to give a shout out to my boy Brian Williams. Now he's a retired NFL player. You got to look him up. Okay. DB. But we had a conversation back a couple months ago, and he was talking about Pat P. He was talking about how he's the greatest and all this stuff, and I'm like, well, I watched this game, and all things to the side, he's not looking like the same Pat P that everybody's used to watching. He's out there getting mixed up by DK Metcalf and everybody else in company, and it just looks bad. But did you see the juke that Kyler Murray put on Jamal Adams?
Disgusting.
Oh, my God.
Disgusting. It's funny. We talked about this last week, too. It looks like a little toddler running around, like an angry toddler that said something bad or something. It's funny, but it works. He juked the shoes out of Jamal Adams. That was funny.
He absolutely did.
That was funny to
it
watch.
wasn't enough to get the win. That's why I'm happy I picked the Seahawks.
Exactly. Well, we didn't really pick anybody this week because we missed the last show.
I
You did. That's a moral victory. That's a moral victory for you, Chris.
Absolutely.
But I do want to say one more thing, too. Shout out to guest number 2, or 3, maybe 3. Tyler Lockett, Stafford and Matthews, guest number 3. 9 receptions on 9 targets, 67 yards and a touchdown. This dude's nearly uncoverable. Uncoverable. It really is crazy. And obviously the two-headed monster with DK Metcalf, who is bigger, stronger, and faster than every single defensive back in the NFL.
Absolutely.
So shut that two-headed monster. Russell Wilson has the easiest job in the world throwing these guys. Easiest job in the world. Next game here. That was Thursday night. Here we go. Bengals football team. This was tough. Like I said earlier in the show here, Joe Burrow goes down with a brutal ACL, MCL, and other structural damage to his knee towards the third quarter. Super, super sad to see. Obviously, one of the rookie phenoms we've seen coming up, and ends his season officially. Also ends the Bengals' playoff chances. Not that they had any in the first place. 20-9 final score. The Washington football team takes the W. And it's a sad day. It really is. You bring in Ryan Finley to finish the game. You don't really have a chance to win with that guy anyway. They're probably going to finish with the top 3 draft pick, which I guess might not be the worst thing in the world for them. You can bring in an offensive lineman like Penei Sewell, who may be able to hold down that line for the next 10 to 12 years, which would be an awesome move for them. Or maybe take a guy, with like an edge guy, maybe a guy to rush the passer. They've had a horrible defense all year. The pass rush has been the number one problem with that. Maybe they can address a lot of different needs. So is this a good thing or a bad thing for the Bengals to finish with a worse record?
I mean, if you look at it from the grand scheme of things, it's a good thing. Your team is trending in the right way, but you're still going to end up getting top 5 pick in the league just off of your record. Grand scheme of things, it's a good thing. Chase Young looked great out there. Mm-hmm. Like, he was out there running around. He reminded me of one of my teammates. He was a real motor guy. Pretty big. DeQuinn Evans. He played for the Bengals for 3 years. He was a defensive end turned linebacker. He had that same kind of motor, but Chase Young is just bigger, younger. He's just a little bit more aggressive. Mm-hmm. These are intangibles that that you would only pray for as a defensive end, and he has them all, and he's shown it. Even the hit on his own boy Burrows.
Yeah, I saw that, the goal line. That was brutal.
The goal line made him fumble. Yeah. I was like, okay, I thought it was going to be one of those, those little rookie mistakes where all right, I can't really hit my boy like that. Like, no, go out there and lay him out because your job is on the line just like his job is on the line. He's not trying to hold back.
It was funny because I was going to bring this up before you did. You see Burrow scramble to the right a little bit. He actually is caught by another Redskins defender at the goal line, and he can't move. And I'm sure as soon as he turns around and sees Chase Young, he sees the eyes of God staring right back at him because he got whopped. Bang, pop, everything. Lost the ball. I'm surprised he didn't lose his head, to be honest with you. It was a brutal, brutal hit. But I agree. Chase Young looked phenomenal. High motor. I saw him at the Combine last year. Mm-hmm. Got up on the stage for the bench press. I'm not doing this shit. Walked off the stage. But when I saw him, I was like, this is a large human being. This is a big, big guy. Arms bigger than my thighs. Crazy dude. Great motor. Great aggression. Absolutely. He's going to be a star in the NFL for a very, very long time. In my view, at least. For a very long time. But some positives for the Bengals. Tyler Boyd looks to be a low-end number one receiver, which is awesome. That's great value for them, especially when you have a guy like T. Higgins, who already has such a rapport with Joe Burrow. He might end up being a low-tier and one receiver as well. You're building a nice little weepons cache for your young quarterback there.
Punch right there. I can see it. For sure next year. They'll probably get AJ Green out of there. They'll get Ross out of there. Probably pick up some extra pieces to help along with with the team. Especially at the wide receiver position, but overall, I feel like those would be a great 1-2 punch for him on the field.
Yeah, as long as they get a slot guy, maybe a guy that can stretch the field a little bit, they'll be set. They'll be set for a long, long time. So that's exciting, at least for Bengals fans, for you guys out there. My guy Andrew Torrey actually went to high school with him, huge Bengals fan. So maybe some positives for my guy Andrew here.
Yeah, they just got to replace Carlos Dunlap. That's the only thing.
That's true too. he was a mainstay of that defense for a long time. So maybe they will address that in the draft
now
early.
he's doing it for the Seahawks.
Exactly. And not to, not to toot my own horn a little bit, but I did put up my first 5 mock draft picks on the Stafford and Matthews Instagram page, and I had them taking Gregory Rousseau, the edge rusher from Miami. So, I mean, I'm not going to say I told you so, but I might have told you so, Chris. Did you see that on the page?
I looked at it. I was like, okay, all right, Joe, I see where you're going.
Yeah, how about that graphic design, too? I'm monitoring it now.
Solid, man. I like it a lot. I definitely liked it. Give you a little like,
Doot right there. Here we go. Also, to keep you guys updated, we are putting on a mock draft, or I am putting on a mock draft. On December 1st, it drops the first mock draft, the way too early mock draft, as I like to call it, to give you guys a little bit of a taste of what the NFL is going to be doing when it comes to April, when the draft rolls around here. Again, not going to be as accurate as possible. We don't know the draft order yet. But to get you guys your head, a little gear spinning in your head, talking about it, thinking about it, because it's one of the most important days in the NFL. It sets your team's future for the next 10 to 12 years. So,
a little barbershop talk.
Exactly. Keep it in mind. Read it. I'm sure we'll do a couple mock drafts on the show as well. I'm sure Chris will get some done as well. So keep an eye on that. On Washington's side, Alex Smith gets his first win as a starter in over 900 days. That's pretty cool to see. That is pretty cool. Shout out to my guy, Alex Smith.
Absolutely.
After a gruesome injury, comes back, gets his first win. So shout out to Alex Smith. That was cool. Antonio Gibson, the rookie, is balling out. 16 carries, 94 yards and a touchdown, 5.9 yards a carry. He's a chain mover. This dude's a chain mover, high motor, similar to Damian Harris in that regard. He just runs hard. He runs the football hard. So shout out to Antonio Gibson as well. They have a bright future in Washington if they can keep some of these younger pieces like J.D. McKissick, like Antonio Gibson, like Terry McLaurin. Put it in reverse. Terry is killing it out there right now.
Absolutely.
Crazy.
And I was going to say that J.D. McKissick is another really good back for them. He is a versatile back. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball. He's actually better at catching than he is at running, but still he's still pretty good at running the ball too. So it's they have a nice little 1-2 punch back there. It's looking nice, like I said. In the grand scheme of things, overall, in the years coming, the Washington's football team is looking bright right now.
Wait, did you hear the rumor? The president came out of the team came out and said that they want to keep the name long term. There's a lot of quote excitement around the name. Who the hell's excited about this name?
Yeah,
no one.
It's
like,
just
who are you talking about?
It's like what? It's so broad. It's like what Washington football team you talking about?
It's like who's excited? Your grandkids? Like who the hell is excited about this name? Like, and it's funny because the story goes about the naming stuff that a realtor in the DC area trademarked all the potential names, so they couldn't pick any of them, which is funny. Like I guess you had to take an L on that, take a year off from naming the team, but you're really gonna even consider keeping this as your name? You're getting clowned by the entire NFL. Like, no one wants to call you. People are still calling you the Redskins, including me. I said the Redskins like 12 times in the show already. Like, what? Pick a name, guys. Pick a name. You don't have an identity. Come on.
Hey, I'm going to stay out of that one because it's a little tricky with that name stuff. But
I don't mean go back to Redskins. I just mean, like, pick a name. Like, pick an
identity.
No.
I get you. Probably – I don't know. What's their bird? I don't know. What's their
Well, DC, it's like I guess the national bird would make sense. The Eagles, but you can't name the Eagles. That's your division rival. Yeah. So it's like you got to go with like the Admirals or something like government oriented or something like that.
Ooh, the Generals.
The Generals. Exactly. We already have a better name. We already have a better name. We
need to go put that in. We need to call it NFL right now.
All right, so we're the Jets GM and president, and now we're the marketing team for the Washington football team.
Why not?
Why not? We do it all.
Everybody else has multiple jobs. We can have multiple jobs.
And we got a pretty killer podcast, too.
Exactly.
Pretty killer podcast, too. Next game on the agenda here, the Saints and the Falcons. The 3-7 Falcons continue to stink out loud. The Saints, led by Taysom Hill, who's not even a quarterback, by the way. ESPN still has him as a tight end on their fantasy app.
Yeah.
Put 2 touchdowns on you. 2. Actually, no, was it 3? It might have been 3. Let me check. No, it was 2. But still, 2 touchdowns on you. Threw deep on you a couple times. It threw absolute ducks, but you still couldn't cover it. It's like come on, guys. But the Saints continue to dominate even without their starting quarterback, Drew Brees. But I have one question to ask you here, Chris. Were you at all shocked they started Taysom Hill? Because I was blown away they started Taysom Hill. You have a former pretty decent starter in Jameis Winston sitting there. You sign him for a reason. to be the guy to step in for Drew Brees when he gets injured, just like Teddy Bridgewater did last year. Why the hell would you sign if you're not going to start him? That doesn't make any sense to me. He's just burning a hole in your paycheck. Like, why the hell is he on the sideline right now?
To me, it just sounds like they, when they brought him in for a workout, he probably went in there, showed up with his hair cut, his arm sleeves cut, so he can see the muscles in his arms. You know what I'm saying? Just looked like the part. He looked good. He didn't show out. He didn't do anything. And they was like, oh yeah, we can use this. We can use this guy. And then boom, sure enough, they get him in the locker room after he's already signed, and then he starts showing himself. He's showing his true colors, and everybody knows that he plays a lot. He's not really a mature as mature of a quarterback as you would want from an NFL starting quarterback. So that's what it just looks like to me. Taysom Hill, he's been out there plenty of times with Breeze, so he kind of understands the game already, and it's just a lot slower for him than it would be for Winston. And I say that because he hasn't played all year. So it's like, why would you even put him in the game if you got somebody who's been in the game, he's been behind the center, he's handed the ball off, and he's thrown the ball and caught the ball. So it's like you have to put him in. It'd be a no-brainer.
Well,
you still got a little growing pains because he's not he's not your prototypical quarterback who sits there and he goes over the quarterback plays and looks and reads during the practice and stuff, except for this past week. But and it showed because he almost threw a pick in the red zone, threw a couple other bad balls. But overall, I felt like he did a great job in managing the game and keeping them there.
Okay, so from my perspective, I kind of agree with the statement saying Jameis isn't a mature guy, because he's not. He has his friends training him. He has these stupid workouts all offseason, posting them, thinking he's like a cool guy. He's not a cool guy. You look like a moron, dude. Mm-hmm. And obviously you have the history with the crab leg situation. You call him Jamie Crab Legs for a reason. Mm-hmm. I get the immaturity part. I'm
not going against him on that one. I don't hold that against him. College,
joke,
dude. Things happen. You're not making money like that. I personally wouldn't have went out trying to steal no crab legs. I wouldn't have tried to done that, but I'm okay, Joe. Like, I know you've been in a common area in the dorm room, yeah. And you went in that microwave, or you went in that refrigerator, and you was like, this ain't got my name on it, but this does look pretty good, and I'm hungry.
That's not what Jameis,
I know you've done that.
That's not what Jameis did, though. He went to a New Orleans restaurant and just stole crab legs.
Yeah, okay. See,
am I going to get arrested
for bad? I'm not trying to make it look bad. I was just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But I know. It looks bad.
I'd get shot if I did that in New Orleans. Are you kidding me? I'd get shot. No, that's funny though. But back to the actual point here. I kind of understand what you're saying with Hill being more experienced in the system and all that stuff. I think it's kind of the train you're on right now, which I guess kind of makes sense to an extent. But then answer me this question: why do you sign him then? Like, what's the point of signing Jameis Winston?
Like I said, he probably walked in there. He probably walked in that workout, dressed to a T, attitude on check, throw the ball really well, was paying attention to what was going on, and they were like, okay, we're buying this. We're buying into this. All of this is all a part of the game. Like, when you're going out there, it's just like going out there for a job interview. You have to go dressed to impress and not show who you really are in that sense. Not saying that you're not supposed to show who you really are, but, a little bit, you're faking it a little bit just to get in, just to get your foot in the door.
Okay, so you're saying more about like image, kind of put him in the room instead of his talent?
Right.
Okay, I guess I can kind of see that. So, all right.
Or it could be a favor.
It could be a favor. And I heard a rumor about this during the week. Actually, I think on Sunday, that was saying that the Saints room, the coaching room, and in the front office were split whether or not to start Winston or Hill. So there is a little bit of a contention here in the room, but I guess not anymore, considering they blew out the Falcons here. But I think Hill's still on a short leash here, because you saw some of these throws were ducks. They were not NFL throws. No. And they know, I think, deep down that he is not the solution long-term as their franchise quarterback. I think they know that. I hope they know that, because if they don't, they got to look in the mirror and ask, what the hell are you doing as a coach?
But I mean, it's not like Drew Brees is out here throwing the ball down the field.
Yeah, but Drew Brees doesn't throw a duck midway for 15 yards. You know what I mean? He throws it on a rope. Taysom Hill throws it up like he's throwing
he'll throw it on a rope for 5 yards.
For 5 yards.
5 yards, not going down the field. Taysom Hill threw a bomb down the field to Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, it was a duck, but it
was a duck. That's what I'm trying to say. The Falcons stink out loud.
I don't think Drew Brees has done that.
Okay,
do that.
If Taysom Hill was playing the Patriots last week, right, instead of the Falcons, you're telling me J.C. Jackson or Stephon Gilmore wouldn't have picked that ball off?
No, I don't.
Dude, come on.
No, I don't. Because you're talking about Emmanuel Sanders. Emmanuel Sanders is out there running full speed. Let's not sit here and say that Emmanuel Sanders is not a fast receiver.
Emmanuel Sanders is like 45 years old, and J.C. Jackson ran like a 4.3.
He still has speed, though.
So does J.C. Jackson, though. But so does J.C. Jackson.
He has speed, though. That's the only thing. That's what made that whole play, is because he was able to burn down the field, and you seen him. He tried the defender tried to get in his way. He moved him out the way and came back to the ball. That's textbook wide receiver moves.
Fair enough. Actually, you know what? Not fair enough. Not fair enough at all. Not fair enough. He looked like the cornerback had no idea where the ball was. He's looking all around. He let Emmanuel Sanders push him off like he was a 5-year-old looking for like a candy bar or something. That was so stupid. That was on the cornerback, not on Emmanuel Sanders. It wasn't Emmanuel Sanders' crazy play. It was a cornerback looking like an absolute dungus. All right, that's what it was. But we can agree to disagree. 24-9 is the final score here. Saints take care of business. Falcons continue to struggle. Matt Ryan, 2 interceptions. I said this a few weeks ago. It still stands true. This is his final season in Atlanta. Had a great tenure, had a Super Bowl appearance, had a great MVP performance that entire year. But it's pretty much over for him. It's over him in Atlanta. I think everybody knows it. And obviously, Dan Quinn's out the door already a few weeks ago. Yeah. I think Julio Jones is probably done there as well. So new era in Atlanta coming next year. Next game here, Steelers and Jaguars, 27-3 is the final score. But I will say, Jacksonville had a lead at one point. They were up 3-0. They were up 3-0. I'm just saying. But anyway here, the Pittsburgh Steelers stay undefeated, 10-0. And they did it in rather unspectacular fashion. They did not blow them out like I thought they would. 27-3 sounds like a commanding victory. But if you watch the football game, it was pretty back and forth for a good majority, at least the first half. And this kind of concerns me because Jacksonville's a bottom 3 team in the NFL, and Pittsburgh's supposed to be the penultimate number 1 team in the league. This win doesn't make me feel very confident about that position for them. It's time for me to ask, are the Pittsburgh Steelers fraudish at number 1? It's back and forth, right?
Yeah, they're getting away with a little bit. They're getting away with some stuff because they have a really good defense. I get it. It happens. The same thing is going on with Baltimore. Baltimore has a really good defense.
Baltimore frauds, period. Frauds, period.
But they're not sitting at 10-0 right now. So it's to an extent. I don't want to say it's a fraud. It's a fraud team, but they are getting away with a couple of games where you're like, they probably could have lost that game, but because of their defense, rallying around and holding people, and holding teams, holding their offense down while they're on the field, it can only help you because you're talking about all you have to do is get the game, manage the game, Ben. Like just manage the game, and he's managing the game and still throwing the ball down the field to his wide receivers. Like I said before, all of his wide receivers are getting 5 to 6 targets a game. And when you're talking about you got a guy who is coming into his own skin by himself, Claypool.
Mapletron.
He is literally, I think he scored, 10 touchdowns in 10 games?
Something like that. Crazy. Yeah, I think I heard that too,
Within 10 games. I think it was within 10 games because he scored 4 touchdowns in one game. Mm-hmm. So it was within 10 games. You got guys like that, and you got Washington out there, Dante Washington. He's out there. He's balling. I really like him out of all the receivers that's over there. Then, of course, you still got Juju, who is a solid receiver out there for him. But all it is, honestly, bro, is you gotta give it up to the defense. The defense is holding it down and it's putting the offense in a great position to make plays and score.
Yeah, you bring up the Steelers receiving core here. Can we get a Steelers scout in New England for once? We just need one receiver. That's all we need. We stink at drafting receivers, but Pittsburgh pulls them out of their ass every single year. Every single year. Think about it. Hines Ward, Antoine Randall, Mike Wallace, Chase Claypool, Juju Smith-Schuster. The list goes on and on and on. It's crazy. It's like every couple of years they bring out a crazy gem in the fourth. Actually, Emmanuel Sanders added to the list. Fourth, fifth, sixth round, they draft unbelievable receivers. It's insensical. It makes no sense. This should not be happening. But they do it, and they do it. It doesn't make any sense to me. It makes no sense to me at all. It doesn't make sense to anybody. It's like statistically impossible, but they keep doing it. So I mean, shout out to the scouting.
Scouting.
I'm about to say, like, seriously, and I'm glad you bring that up because they have probably, I'd say, 3 high-end 2s to low-end 1 receivers. Let's say about 3. Claypool has like high receiver 1 potential, right?
Yeah.
He's probably high 2 right now. Deontay Johnson's probably high 2. Juju's been kind of falling, but I guess he's still low 1. And James Washington's probably mid 2 as well. You have a lot of weapons around you. And you have Eric Ebron on the outs in the middle of that field at tight end. It's crazy. You have a great run game with James Conner and even Benny Snell, who's been balling out as well.
Yes, he has.
But the one weakness I will grant you is Ben Roethlisberger. I don't know if he has the legs to, first of all, keep an entire season going, have the stamina to continue it week after week after week, especially now with the bye only being for the first seed. If Pittsburgh drops 2 or 3 games in the next 6 weeks or so, they could be number 2 and have to play in wildcard weekend. That's not good for an old quarterback. So I'm just saying,
who's out there that's on their roster right now that's going to actually give them their 2 losses? Because
I don't know. I had to look at the schedule. Can you bring the schedule up real quick?
I don't see it.
Bring the schedule up.
Yeah, let me look at it.
Give me the week by week. I think it's pretty easy actually, but even still, you always have those surprise games. Any given Sunday.
You still got to play. Still got to play the Ravens, which I've already said that's gonna be a hard fought game right there. So I could see them.
It's the Battle of the Frogs.
Play them this Thursday.
Yeah, so the Ravens play the Steelers on Thursday. So that could be a loss. I don't think it is, but it could be a loss, right?
You turn around, you got Washington.
Okay, that's a W.
You got the Bills. That's going to be a game right there. We don't know if they can win that or not. But then you got the Bengals, the Colts, and then the Browns.
Well, the Colts is not a bad game either, and the Browns actually played them pretty tough early in the season. I'm just saying, Chris, listen to me.
Are you going off of just this week of what they did?
No, I'm not. What I'm trying to emphasize to you is they could very possibly drop 2 to 3 games in that schedule. Is that true or not? Is it possible? Is it feasible?
I see 1 game.
All right, so Buffalo, that could be a loss, right? You agree there?
No, I'm not saying that.
You don't think it's possible they lose to Buffalo?
Mm-mm.
You think it's an automatic win?
Not with that defense.
Oh, come on, Chris.
That's all they have. That's all Buffalo has is the deep. I mean, is their offense.
Josh Allen outthrew the best quarterback in the NFL like 3 weeks ago.
And that's fine. That's fine. It wasn't against the best defense in the NFL.
All right. I guess we're to disagree there. I think Buffalo can give them a game. I think Baltimore can give them a game. I think that Cleveland can give them a game. I think there's a few games.
It'll be a game too, but they're not going to win. I don't think the Buffalo's going to win.
I just think it's feasible that they could drop a couple games and Kansas City could sneak up there and take the top seed. That's all I'm saying.
Probably.
And if once they play Kansas City, they might get blown out of the water. Because Kansas City
in the playoffs?
In the playoffs. Do you think the Steelers would actually agree with me?
No, absolutely.
I think Kansas City beats them too.
For sure.
Remember when I said that I took the Patriots against Kansas City in the playoffs? I said that week 2. Remember that?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Exactly.
Anyway, speaking of my Patriots, tough loss on Sunday. Funny story before we get into it, before you roast the shit out of me. I put my first parlay in ever on Sunday. First parlay ever. I took Packers money line. I took Patriots minus 2.5. I took Patriots 49 under, and I think I took Pittsburgh's money line too. So it was over after the 1 o'clock games. It was over. So fuck you, Bill Belichick. You cost me $25.
Hey, you lost every one of them, didn't you?
No, I won the Pittsburgh money line.
The what?
The Pittsburgh money line.
Okay.
Yeah, I won that part. But I'm like a gambling addict now. It's kind of funny. I made like 2 bets. I'm already addicted. That's funny.
Hey, boy, it's addicting.
It's a scary game. I gotta stay away from it a little bit.
It is addicting.
I feel like it'd be a bad influence on me on that.
Not me. I keep my money right there in my pocket.
I'll be out in Cali. We'll be at a bar. You'll be like, put this parlay in, Joe. Put it in right now. I got inside information right over here.
Hell no. Not me. Not me. I'll give you a straight up gentleman's bet. That's about it.
Fair enough. Yeah, speaking of which, if you guys didn't see this in the background, I got my jersey collection in the background here. See this nice little red one right here? That's my Terrell Owens jersey. I have to wear that at Thanksgiving because of Chris.
Get ready.
My family's going to hate that. They're going to hate that. Oh, my God. Anyway, back to the game here. New England falls to Houston 27-20. They moved to 4-6 in the season. Houston moves to 3-7. In the first drive watching the game, you would think, holy shit, the Patriots are going to knock them off in a spectacular fashion. They make them punt the first drive of the game. They march down the field with Damian Harris capping it off with a touchdown. It's 7-0. You think right off the bat, wow, that's a commanding first couple of drives. We're seeing the rebirth of the Patriots. We're starting to see them make this run we're talking about. The path to the playoffs is starting to open, right? And then it starts to get out of hand very, very quickly. Deshaun Watson was spectacular. 26 of 40, 365 yards and a touchdown. Oh, that's Cam Newton. My bad. Oh, yikes. He had a good game though too. He had a pretty good game too.
26 of 40. That's a great game, man. That's a great game.
Hey, give me a break. Deshaun Watson, 28 to 37, I should say, 344 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also was the leading rusher in the day, 36 yards and touchdown on the ground. This dude was phenomenal. He dominated every facet of our defense. He ran the ball effectively against us. He passed the ball effectively against us. We tried zone, we got eaten alive. We tried man, we got eaten alive even more. Yeah. It was not in the cards for New England to win this football game on Sunday here. And Deshaun Watson is the main reason why.
Absolutely.
Chris, I know I'm going to have to ask you, so what did you think of the game?
Hey. Yeah, man. I thought it was a great game. The Patriots, I mean, they're showing that they're the Patriots. They have they had a receiver out there that I didn't know of that was out there balling. What was his Bird?
Amir Bird.
132 and a touchdown off of 7 receptions. Man had an amazing game out there. Like these guys that you don't know of, but you know, Bill Belichick, he finds these gems out there. You talking about you need a receiver? There go one right there. He might be shorter than everybody else on the field, but
these are such backhanded compliments. It's not even funny.
But you know, these you know, that's things that you would see. But you need. I'm looking at Cam and I'm like, come on, Cam, like let's get something going around here. Let's do something. You know, they tried this little trick play where he's supposed to throw the ball deep to Bird because Bird was wide open and he ends up throwing it underneath to Myers. And I'm like, all right, there go one where you could have easily had a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a lot of checkdowns. It looked like he's trying to play Tom Brady's game, and honestly, I think that's what it looks like. It looks like Cam is trying to play Tom Brady's game, and Tom Brady's trying to play Cam's game out there in Tampa. Like, it's just not working for him. Cam is dumping the ball down the field when he needs to throw the ball down the field. Tom Brady's throwing the ball down the field when he needs to throw the ball underneath. Like, these are things that I'm noticing, from this team. And, when you got a quarterback, and listen, these guys out here, this defense is nothing to play with. But when you got a quarterback running you over for a whole touchdown, that says a lot. That says a lot that you're not out there trying to hit nobody. Right? It seems like you're just out there just to be out there, or you might just be looking for picks. I don't know. I'm not a defensive person, but that's what it looked like to me. It just looked like they wasn't there and they wasn't ready to play because the dude ran him over, like, and he was 3 yards out of the end zone. Like, it looked like he was going to be down on the 3. He runs him over, tricks him, plays mind game with him. I don't know what it was, but that's exactly what he did. And then, Cam is out here getting hit left and right. Sometimes I don't even think he's even looking at people right in front of his face, because there was one time when the dude came down on an edge blitz and he was right there in his face. he just
Well,
let him hit him.
well, I think the one thing that Houston surprised us with was these secondary blitzes. These corners and safeties were coming off the edge, flying off the edge like daredevils over here, and just hitting them from behind, him from the side, from the front, everywhere.
But the thing is that they were doing it the whole game from the start to the end.
Mm-hmm.
So that just tells me two things: either Cam is just not paying attention to not paying attention to these guys, or they didn't have any second half changes coming from the coaches. And I don't believe that, because you're talking about Bill Belichick.
I think it's neither.
Okay, so what are you thinking?
I know for a fact it's because our receivers stink. That's why. He's no one to pass to. No one's getting open for him. No one's getting open for him.
6 for 134 and a touchdown.
Yeah, half those yards are on the one play through downfield.
6 for 134 and a touchdown off of 7 targets.
Yeah.
Like
that's one player.
That's one player, because he was the only one that was,
Exactly. No,
okay.
Finish what you're going to say. Finish what you're going to say. What were you going to say, Chris? What were you going to say?
So listen, bro.
Because he's the only one getting open? That's why. Exactly.
It's not the receivers, because you can't put that on
the receivers. It happened last year with Brady. That's why Brady left.
Understand that it's coming from the coach's mouth. It's coming from their play sheet. You have to understand that going underneath all the time is just not going to work, especially with a quarterback like Cam. It's just not going to work.
But Cam can't throw the ball downfield.
He's looking down the field and trying to dump off on short when everybody knows that you're trying to throw short.
Well, the thing is, Cam's mechanics are so messed up right now. I don't know what it is. I know he had to rub it up in his shoulder a little bit. They had to have surgery on it a couple times the last few years. Mm-hmm. That may be the reason why. His mechanics are so off. It's not even funny. That's why he's throwing the ball in the dirt 5 times a game and throwing deflections to 6'2" defensive ends. This should not be happening to a guy who's 6'5". He's releasing down here. He's literally releasing down here instead of up here. That's the reason why. His mechanics are so off. I don't think Belichick knows how to fix it. You bring up the fact that maybe his receivers are getting open, he's maybe not finding them in the right places. That's not true. Because that's the reason Tom Brady left, because he had no receiving help at all. They dropped N'Keal Harry in front of DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel, and A.J. Brown. They don't know how to get talent at the wide receiver position. They don't have any talent there. We have the bottom 2 receiving core in the league, and it's not 2. We are horrible. We can't do it. We have bad receivers. Plain and simple. Jacoby Myers is our best receiver right now, and he's a low-end 4 on a championship team.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's the reality of what's happening right now. So until you hit the offseason, until you draft a receiver in the first 2 rounds, until you throw some actual money in the free agency market, you won't see results. And now Belichick is getting the harsh treatment he should have been getting with Brady. And the realization that's coming to him is, I actually have to try to get skill position players for my quarterback because I don't have Tom Brady anymore. That's what's happening. That's what's happening.
All I'm saying is, Joe, I would never talk bad about my team as bad as you do.
Oh, stop it.
I would never do that. You just ran down the whole list of why your team is bad, but you're still going to root for them, aren't you?
Was I right or no?
You're right. You're
exactly
right. I'm just saying I would never talk bad about my team. But Chris, you did it for me. So I appreciate you for doing my job in that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. That was a good rant. That was a good rant though. I'm all for the people. That was a good rant. I'm sure they liked it too. But anyway, yeah, tough loss. No other way to slice and dice it. This severely lowers their playoff chances, but
absolutely
kind of helps me a little bit because on a couple podcasts before the year started, I said they go 10-6, 9-7 around that range. They're still poised to do that. Their schedule isn't that hard coming up. Yeah, you play the Rams 1 week, which is a tough game. You have Arizona, but you have Kyler Murray banged up. You play the Jets again. That's a win. Play the Dolphins, probably a win. The Bills get
Dolphins.
Yeah, they had to bring whatever his name is, Fitzpatrick in.
Tua got hurt.
It literally came out. He didn't get hurt.
It was like a little. It's probably just a bruise.
Dude, Google it. He did not get hurt. It came out. Flores literally said he did not get hurt. He said, and I quote, Fitzpatrick gave us the best chance to win. If that's still the case,
I watched the video after. I watched the interview after the game, and he said no. Tua is going right back in.
No, I understand he's starting again, but what I'm saying is they took him out for a reason that wasn't injury related. That's what I'm trying to say. Yes, I swear to God. On my mother's grave, I swear to God, that's what he said. So if that's still the case, and we have Bill Belichick's track record against not Miami Dolphins, just rookie quarterbacks in general, they are horrible against Bill Belichick. He knows how to scheme against them. He does. So I'm so confident in that. We still beat the shit out of them week 1. Granted, they were not the team they are now.
Yeah, exactly.
But still, Denver beat them. Denver. The Broncos.
I told you this before. Denver is a scrappy team. You keep the game within arm's reach of them, they're gonna go out and
well, if Denver had been healthier at the start, if they had Cortland Sutton still in the lineup, if they had Philip Lindsay, healthy throughout the entire season, Melvin Gordon didn't get a DUI. If there was more continuity in that team, I think you're right. I think they're a major player in the AFC. So I'd have to agree with you there. But this season is a bust for them. It's a wash. They're getting moral victories even with these W's, but they're not making a playoff run or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess it's still good for their fan base and everything to see some progress on that team. They were pretty bad after Peyton left. So I guess shout out to the what's their face? The Denver Broncos. All right, next game on the schedule here, the Eagles and the Browns. This was just a horrible game to watch. This was so bad. Turnover for turnover here. And the main culprit's Carson Wentz. One question only. Is it time for Jalen Hurts or no?
It has been time for Jalen Hurts.
Quote it. It's been time for Jalen Hurts.
Been time. One of my close friends, shout out to Golden, he was saying the same thing. He was like, I want to see Jalen Hurts, and they should have probably put him out there just like they did to Tua. But I had to remind him. I was like, but you have to remember now, like, Hurts lost his starting position to Tua. So there has to be something going on in that sense of in the back of his mind of like, why isn't he really playing? But overall, I think he does need a chance to play a little bit more, but I don't think he should start. And this is the reason why I don't think he should start. I don't think Carson Wentz is playing bad. I think the offensive line is making him look bad.
It's horrible. It's so bad.
Ridiculous. Carson Wentz holds the ball a tick too long. Correct. You're right. But if you look at it, especially if you look at this game, right here, you should really see it should have been painfully wide open for you to see that it was not Carson Wentz's fault in this game. First pick, he tries to get the ball down the field. He doesn't see anybody. He does what a quarterback is supposed to do. Go down to your check down. It's right there to your left. Lob it over, and let him catch it and run. Get him an extra 2-3 yards, whatever. Mm-hmm. He gets hit from behind. It's not like he has eyes behind his head. He gets hit from behind because his right tackle let the guy run right past him, and he gets blasted, and the ball pops up in the air, and then you got the Browns picking up the ball and taking it back for a touchdown. Right? It's not his fault. Then you're talking about another one. Now, Alshon Jeffries. Let's just say this: Alshon Jeffries is not the same person that he was before these injuries. I think these injuries is playing a big part on why he is not looking the way he used to look, and it's looking bad. It looks bad. I'm not going to say it's looking bad for him because he could probably get back this offseason and get back to playing for him. But right now, it's not looking good for him. Mm-hmm. So he comes off the line. It was a terrible release off the line. I'm not going to lie. It was a terrible release off the line. It was a terrible release into his route at the top of the route. Granted, the DB is holding. We all know as receivers, especially in NFL, DBs are going to hold. So we have to find a way to get them off of us. Right. So now that we know that, why are you not using that to your advantage? You're a big guy. You're on the reds. You're in the red zone. You're on like the route was like what 5-10 yards. It looked like it should have been a corner route that was like 10 to 15 yards to get him in the back of the end zone for him to catch a touchdown and jump over the guy and catch a touchdown. But instead, he cuts it short, tries to cut underneath him, throw him by. He kind of throws him by, but then, you know what I'm saying, he's still weak. He stumbles out. Carson Wentz is trying to give him a chance to catch the ball. He lobs it up there just to give him a chance, like, all right, even if he stumbles, he can catch his feet and turn around, catch the ball, jump, and we can still get at least 5 yards off of this play. No, the dude falls down, and then the ball just gets lobbed and falls right into the hands of the Browns, and they take that one. So I'm looking at these plays, and I'm like, it can't be. Because I was looking at first, just looking at it, first shot, straight off the game. You're like, all right, Carson Wentz playing bad, get him out of there. Then when you look at it again, I got my iPad, I'm looking at the film of the whole game, and I'm like, it's really not Carson Wentz right now. Like, it's really his offensive line is making him look bad. And I feel bad for Carson, because sometimes you get a glimpse of that MVP form that he was trying to get to, but then it goes automatic. It goes right back down because of the play of the offensive line. Nothing get done until the front line is being taken care of.
Wow, that was a long rant, and I think I agree with you on every single aspect of it. Offensive line is horrible. It's horrendous. It needs to be fixed. It won't be fixed because Philadelphia is incapable of actually addressing any of their needs. But I think you're right on everything that you said here. On Cleveland's side of the ball, though, the best running back stable in the league, Nick Chubb, holding down my fantasy team, by the way. Holding it down. Holy God.
I lost this week, but
I won by 6 points. And this is the craziest part. Ronald Jones was on the other guy's team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm up at this point, I think, 7 points.
Mm-hmm.
If this dude scores a touchdown and runs for more than 10 yards, I'm screwed. And I lucked out so hard. He texted me today. He was like, are you fucking kidding me? He was like, oh, pissed. He was like talking shit in the trap. I'm like, you know what? Check the scoreboard. That's all I told him. I said, check the scoreboard. That's all I had to say about it. I lucked out. You know what? I did. But you know what? I'm still a W. I'm tied for first right now. $200 come my way.
We are in the same boat, bro. I'm tied for first as well. I had an 8-game win streak. And of course, all the games that I lose to my brother, who had said a week before, if anything happens in this world, the only thing I do know that I can control is beating you. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Just last week, he only had 96 points. Then he turns around, he beats me. He gets 150 points, bro. 150 points. I'm like, I only got 110. He had 150. I'm like, how in the hell is this possible? I haven't even talked to him. I don't even want to call him. I don't want to text him. I don't want to hear nothing come out of his mouth because, you know, he listens to our podcast on our way to work. And so I know when he hears this, he's gonna call me and be like, hey man, I told you. Like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Is that what he sounds like?
Yeah, I don't want to hear it, bro. Like, he's gonna come up with something. And my brother, he's a cocky person. You know, he likes to talk shit. He thinks
it sounds familiar.
Like, it's just crazy how he is. And
runs in the family.
No. You meet my brother. I'm telling you, you're gonna see it's clearly night and day between us two.
All right. I guess I have to see later down the road here. All right. Well, to finish this off, Cleveland won again. Somehow they're 7-3. They're not a 7-3 football team by any stretch of the imagination, but they take down one of the NFC least teams, Philadelphia Eagles. Next game, the Lions and the Panthers. Literally nothing to talk about in this game. 20-0 is the final score. I guess the one storyline is kind of cool. P.J. Walker gets his first NFL victory. XFL MVP. Got cut like 12 times by the Colts. So kind of a cool story there. Shout out to P.J. Walker. Definitely a big fan over here, Stafford and Matthews. But besides that, like, nothing to write home about. Nothing important happened in this game. Both teams are not making a playoff push. It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
Yeah, especially Swift, he was hurt. I really wasn't even trying to watch it after that. I mean, I know Adrian Peterson was out there. He got the start. But I kind of wanted to see Swift and see what he was going to do against his defense, and it didn't happen. So
Definitely. Next game on the agenda here, the Titans and the Ravens. In a crazy before the game, pregame thing happened, Malcolm Butler and pretty much the entire Titans defense is standing on the Ravens midfield on the logo. Then they leave, but then Malcolm Butler comes back with A.J. Brown and starts jarring to John Harbaugh, who then comes to midfield. And they're about to fight at some point. It's just a weird storyline happened. And then Vrabel and Harbaugh start yapping at it. And I guess it's emotions running high from last year's playoff game or something like that. But just a wacky pregame thing. What'd you make of that?
Harbs is like that. I knew exactly where his mindset was when I seen him approach them guys at the middle of the field. I'm like, he ain't gonna swing, but he gonna give you a piece of his mind. And that's the only thing that I wish we could have heard was what he was actually saying to them guys, because Harbs got a mouth on him. I know, because I was with him for 3 years, and it just goes and it cuts through you like a Swiss Army knife. Like, it's sharp, it hurts. You like, hold on, I really need to, you know what I'm saying? I really want to fuck this dude up. You know, that's the kind of mindset you get when he's talking. So I can only imagine what he was saying out there. But it's all a ploy to get your team riled up, try to get this win out here.
Definitely. When it comes to the actual game itself, final score I believe was 30-24. Titans moved to 7-3. Ravens moved to 6-4. Ravens are frauds. Like I've said it there multiple times on this podcast. They're frauds. I don't believe in them. Titans are a different story because they have a guy named Derrick Henry. King Henry caps off the game again with a crazy overtime rushing touchdown. He's like a dump truck going down a residential area. You can't stop. He's going 45 miles an hour. Just crazy stuff. And he caps it off with an overtime touchdown run. Mm-hmm. Can anyone stop this guy?
No, nobody can. I mean, you have to put hats on him. That's the only thing that I didn't understand about this game is, he still got 100 yards. Like, you've seen by your arch rivals, the Pittsburgh Steelers put hats on the ball. Mm-hmm. They put hats on the ball, and then you turn around and you come in and you don't stop him. Like, that was the only thing that I didn't understand about this Ravens game, was why the defense, as good as they are, and as much talent as they have, and as much money as they put in on this defense, that they would try to make sure that this guy doesn't run all over him. And it happened anyway. Like, they don't hide it. That's the thing. The Titans don't hide it. They show you, we're going to run this ball, and then they still get it done.
Well, the thing is, the thing I look back, I think the prime example is this: the Patriots and Titans game, divisional round, last year. I'm at the game, Tom Brady's final game at Gillette Stadium. But the one thing I remember is we all knew the week coming up that no one was scared of Ryan Tannehill. No one in New England was scared of Ryan Tannehill at all. I don't care if you're a radio host or a casual fan. No one was scared of this guy.
Right. And
we knew the game plan going in was to do basically engage 8, run everyone in the backfield, maybe 3 guys back to play deep, and that's it. That was the game plan, and that's exactly what they did. But it didn't matter because Derrick Henry is a grown-ass man and will run through a motherfucker's face. That's the bottom line. That's what happened, and that's what's continuing to happen. That's what has happened for the past year and a half, and it will continue to happen until the day Derrick Henry dies. Because this dude is a scary, scary guy, and no one can tackle him in the open field one-on-one. No one. It's scary.
I can't fight that. I can't fight that at all, because he's proven it time and time over and over again. And now that the season is changing and it's starting to get colder, it's only going to get even worse for these guys. This is the time where he really flourishes, and he ends up with like 200-yard games. Mm-hmm. So
what I really want to see in the playoffs is Pittsburgh and Tennessee. Because I'm going to see Pittsburgh's defense go try to tackle Derrick Henry in this cold, raw weather.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. I think if they was to see each other in the playoffs, it would definitely. I would definitely lean more towards the Titans.
It's still a dream matchup, though, just to see that play out. It's an awesome matchup to see. I still take Pittsburgh, though. Believe it or not, I still take Pittsburgh. Yeah, just because the defense, I just think they shut down Ryan Tannehill. I think they contained Derrick Henry enough to the point where and I don't really trust the Titans' defense. I just don't have a lot of faith there, especially in the secondary. I think Malcolm Butler's ridiculously overrated. So yeah, I just think they probably take the W there. Maybe a close W, but I think a W nonetheless.
But you got to think about this. And it depends on, and it really depends on where they play at. So if they're playing in Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh is probably going to snow there.
Yep.
So
probably.
you're talking about a snow game. Who's really catching the ball out there for them like that? The only person I could really see to catch the ball consistently on a consistent basis is Juju, because he's been there. He knows what it feels like. And
Chase Claypool's from Canada.
Yeah, he's from Canada. I get that, but he's more acclimated into American football and not playing in these cold weather games.
Well, he played at Notre Dame. That's pretty damn cold. That's the Midwest cold.
They don't have snow games. They don't have
snow, but it's pretty damn cold. So unless he's like not used to playing with rain.
Snow is a combination of cold, water, and ice.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess we have to wait and see on that.
Three different elements that you're not used to. You probably be used to one, maybe two. But all three of those put together is looking difficult. That's all I'm saying. I just feel like Juju would probably be the only receiver out there that would probably have the best chance of catching the ball. And I honestly don't see Connor doing anything out there because he's just not looking good to me right now.
Have you ever played in a snow game?
Yeah.
How'd you do?
I did good. I actually did good. It was cold as hell.
Listen, because you're a Cali boy, so I feel like you're not used to the snow either.
Yeah, I despise the cold, and somehow, some way, I've always ended up on teams that were cold, and or there would be a team. It was just warm weather teams didn't really want me, which didn't make sense to me because I'm like you said, I'm a Cali guy, so it probably would have worked way better for me.
Should have gone to Miami.
That's what I was trying. Actually, you know what? When I got released from the Seahawks, my initial pick to the next team that I initially wanted to go to was Tampa Bay, and that was when they had Vincent Jackson and Mike Evans was like just coming on. It was still early for him, and my initial pick was Tampa Bay. I was like, I'm going straight there. No, you don't have to worry about state taxes,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And they like tall guys. I'm going out there. And then, of course, Baltimore came in the mix. They offered more money, and I'm like, well, hold up.
Follow the money. We got to follow the money.
Follow the money.
I love that. But next game here, we're going on tangents today, Chris. We're going all over the place. That's funny. But next game, the winless Jets stay winless, 34-28. Justin Herbert gets his, I think, second win as a pro, something like that. Anyway, Herbert was spectacular again, 37-49. 366 yards and 3 touchdowns. Herbert is now set a rookie record, most 3 touchdown performances in NFL history for a rookie. That's pretty impressive. He's running with Rookie of the Year now, especially with Burrow going down with an ACL injury here. But he is just showing dominant performance after dominant performances. And Keenan Allen is reaping those benefits. 16 receptions for Keenan Allen. Oh my God. This is a deadly combo. Will be deadly combo for the next, I think, 5-6 years. As soon as Keenan Allen retires, might change a little bit. But still, a deadly combo for at least the foreseeable future. But the weird thing is, as good as Herbert's been, and I'm not saying it's his fault, he's lost a lot of close games and almost let the Jets come back in this game. Joe Flacco almost led this team back. They only lost by touchdown, actually less than a touchdown. They lost by 6 points.
Yeah.
That's a very winnable game for the winless Jets. So what do you think the issue is with the Chargers specifically about not being able to close out games?
I just think that it's not enough time for them. They don't have enough I can't even say that, man, because they got all week to prepare for these games. I think it's just a mixture of but overall I just think that you just give these dudes some time, a couple of years from now, they'll be in the playoff race for sure. 100%.
I'm with you there. But still, a little bit concerning. Just a little bit concerning.
Yeah, it is. But like I said, it's injuries, COVID happened. Nobody's really getting time to really get in sync. So it's hard.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But your guy Joe Flacco, granted, still had a great game. 2 touchdowns, 205 yards, 15-30. Threw a pick that kind of cost him the game. Old man Frank Gore had 61 yards on the ground, 4.1 yards a carry. Can we get this guy a win? He deserves a win. Like
if he don't, it sounds like he coming back.
we need like a Rudy performance or something. We need something for Frank Gore.
Yeah.
Because this Jets team is sorry.
Real quick though, you said that he's running. You said Justin Herbert's running away with the with Rookie of the Year. Do you really he's running away, or does Justin Jefferson have a good shot?
In a quarterback bias league, Herbert has it by a long shot. I don't think it'll be close either.
It's hard, man.
All right. Well, the thing is, if you look at any award ever, when it comes to MVP and Rookie of the Year, historically, it's always quarterbacks. It's always quarterbacks because they have a bias towards quarterbacks.
It's true. That's
just how it works.
Justin Jefferson is playing though.
Right. I'm not trying to discredit him at all. I love Justin Jefferson.
You're two. What are they? What are they? 2-7 right now.
They're 3-7. Yeah.
3-7. That's hard. That's hard. And Justin Jefferson is on a good team. So
Justin Jefferson just lost to Andy Dalton.
They did, but that's not his fault.
His fault. No, we just save this talk because I'm gonna roast the fuck out of my friend. Oh my god, I gotta let it happen on this. We'll move on that for a second here. All right, Broncos Dolphins 2013 final score. Denver gets a win. They are now 3-0 against the AFC East. 1-6 against every other team, but 3-0 against the AFC East. Kind of a weird division to be 3-0 against, considering how much talent is in that division.
Absolutely.
But just a quick look at the stats here. Drew Lock, 18 of 30, 270 yards, no touchdowns and a pick. He had a bad game. Plain and simple, had a bad game. Melvin Gordon, however, 84 yards, 5.6 yards to carry, and a couple touchdowns. And his buddy Philip Lindsay, 82 yards on 16 carries, 5.1 yards to carry. The run game has been the staple of this offense so far. Drew Lock has not been able to get in a rhythm because his weapons outside, like Cortland Sutton, like Jerry Jeudy, like KJ Hamler, have had their problems getting healthy and staying healthy. But as of right now, the run game is the staple of this offense. They are moving the chains forward, and they're getting important moral victories against teams like Miami, who were on a burning hot streak. Tua Tagovailoa had to be taken out of the game.
Yeah.
Ryan Fitzpatrick was put in for a reason, and they still lost the game. Although Fitz did lead him down the field with about like a minute left in the game and almost won the game. Threw a pick, but almost won the game. So, I mean, Fitzpatrick is unbelievable. I was talking to my buddy the other day.
I like him.
I like him a lot. And I was talking to my buddy the other day, and he was like, so if Cam leaves, would you sign Fitzpatrick? I'm like, absolutely I would. Are you kidding me? Fitz in a pass uniform, sign me up right now. I got the beard. We got the Harvard background. I love it. Bring him back to Boston. I love that idea. But any thoughts on the Broncos-Dolphins game?
No, not really. It was a messy game. I didn't really pay too much attention to it, to be honest with you. But I caught a couple clips of Philip Lindsay running down the field and doing what he does. But overall, it was just an iffy game. I didn't really pay too much attention to it.
Definitely. All right, here we go. Oh, I'm gonna let him have it. All right, Cowboys-Vikings. Final score, 31-28. The Andy Dalton-led Cowboys beat the Minnesota Vikings. First of all, frauds. Minnesota Vikings are frauds. We need a fraud alert button. That'd be awesome. Like a little sound effect. Fraud alert. Kevin, get on that. Fraud alert. Literally, hitting the button right now. Fraud alert. The Vikings are frauds. But I'm in New Hampshire this weekend, upstate New Hampshire in the White Mountains with three of my best friends from high school. We're just up there. We're having a good time. We're just partying a little bit. And we're watching the football game on Sunday. Put up a few parlays in. And we're watching this game. I told you about Spencer before. Huge Vikings guy. But not Vikings specifically. Kirk Cousins. Loves the guy. Addicted to liking game managers for no reason. Just loves game managers. But loves Kirk Cousins specifically. We're watching this game. I told him at the beginning of the game, I said, Kirk's going to blow this somehow. He's like, no, he's not. It's Andy Dalton, the Cowboys. I'm like, I'm telling you right now, he will find a way to fuck this up. And he said, there's not a shot. I'm like, all right, bet. We're to the end of the game here. And Kirk Cousins misses the fourth and 3 throw. I'm like, I look over him. I just give him a look. And he refuses to look at me. I said, tick, 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 Spence. Andy Dalton's coming for your W here. Doesn't respond again. Andy Dalton goes on the field, scores. And they're up, and then Kirk Cousins again fails to win a game in prime time. He shrinks in the spotlight. He has no clutch factor and is the corniest white guy in the NFL. Have you ever heard him talk? It's so funny. It's like, dang, Dangnammit, son of a frick, son of a nutcracker. It's just funny. Like it's like Philip Rivers asked a little bit, but less angry.
It's not like Philip Rivers.
A little bit, yeah, but he's more corny. Like he wears Tommy Bahama. He wears Tommy Bahama. That's exactly what he wears. That's Kirk Cousins. He's Tommy Bahama personified. But yeah, Kirk Cousins stinks out loud. Spencer tried to tell you earlier. Won't listen to me. Game manager at best. Does not deserve any of the money he's being paid. $30 million a year. Are you kidding me? I could be better than that for $30 million a year. But yeah, Andy freaking Dalton, the Red Rifle beats the quote-unquote cream of the crop in the NFC North. Give me a break. Frauds. What are your thoughts on the game?
But, I mean, it wasn't like it was like a terrible game. Like, it was, what was it, 31-28. Like, that's actually a pretty good game. No defense, but a pretty good game, nonetheless.
I mean, fair enough. It was a good game, but it was just funny the way it ended, just for my sake specifically. Absolutely. Just funny the way it ended.
Yeah, you're right. I don't understand how you got any of that money. Well, I kind of do, but that's for another show. We'll leave it there.
There we go. Next game, which was probably the best game of the weekend, in my opinion. The Packers and the Colts. Actually, no, I'll take that back. But one of the best games of the weekend.
Yeah.
Packers-Colts. Both 7-3 now because the Colts take the W against Aaron Rodgers 34-31. Rodrigo Blankenship, the hot rod himself, game-winning field goal at the end of the game to seal the deal here. And Philip Rivers, who I've torn down all season, and for good reason, you can't knock me there, had a great game. 24-36, 288 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick, almost cost him the game. Actually, there was if you guys watched the game here, he technically fumbled the ball, and they ran it back for a touchdown. They called it incomplete. It was a tuck rule-esque situation. That was a fumble.
Yeah.
Packers should have won this game.
That's what I thought. I thought it was a fumble for sure.
That's what I thought too. But you know what? The cookie crumbles a certain way, and you have to deal with it here. Rivers had a phenomenal game. And Jonathan Taylor, we said he's the best back in the class for a reason. 90 yards and 22 carries, kept the chains moving, and is the reason why they were able to chew up that clock and give Aaron Rodgers almost no time to win this football game. But you know what? He almost did it because Rodgers still has it in the back of his bag here. Absolutely. Rodgers, 27-38, 311 yards, 3 touchdowns, in a pick. Aaron Jones, 41 yards on 10 carries and a touchdown as well. It just wasn't in the cards. It was a back-and-forth game. The Colts end up on top with it with a really, really improved defense. You see him take on Lamar Jackson head-on, hold him to 21 points. You see him hold Aaron Rodgers in check at least to get a W here. I still think the Colts are just a team that messed up your schedule. I don't see him making a deep postseason run at all still. But an impressive win nonetheless. Chris, what do you think?
Absolutely. I just think at first when I was watching the game, the first couple plays of the game, I was like, I'm not about to watch this. Like, it just looked bad. It was turnover over turnover over turnover, and I'm like, I'm not trying to watch this. I click away, then I click back, and I'm like, okay, let's give it another chance. And I'm like, I started noticing something. I'm like, the Colts is actually balling right now. They getting T.Y. Hilton in the game. He's getting him some passes. I didn't think he would ever get a pass ever again for the Colts, but he's out there. He's balling, and I'm like, the defensive line is getting sacks on Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, okay, like the Colts is playing. You know, Philip Rivers is tearing them up right now. But you know, they did what the game plan was meant to. What they meant to do in their game plan was to get close and to run the ball, because we all know that Green Bay can't stop the run, and that's why Taylor is out there having the best game. Having the career season, and it's just starting for him. Exactly. I think I'm with you 100% on that. 100,000,000% on that. Next game here, which was a doozy, and I really felt bad for Derek Carr here. 35-31 is the final score. The Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes knock off Las Vegas in the final minutes. And it was Mahomes-esque. Drove down the field, no problem, finding a wide-open Travis Kelce to finish the game out. And I guess you could say you should come to expect it now. Mm-hmm. You should expect greatness from the Chiefs because of Patrick Mahomes, because of Kermit the Frog. Mm-hmm. This dude is unfreaking believable. And I really thought the Raiders had it in the bag. As soon as they scored with like 2 minutes left to go, I'm like, you know what? The Raiders just knocked off the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. And they stormed back. But I will say, the Chiefs do not want to see the Raiders in the playoffs.
They do not want to see them in the playoffs.
No, absolutely not.
They do not want to see them in the playoffs. Because the Raiders have their number. John Gruden has conditioned his team to play up against the competition and to play the Chiefs as hard as humanly possible. I'm just saying, putting it out there here. They didn't win this time. But do not be shocked if the Raiders give the Chiefs a serious football game if they meet in the playoffs.
And it's crazy because they had I look at Kansas City about the same, like almost the same. They just have a little bit more firepower, but almost the same as Green Bay. Like they have a great offense, terrible defense.
Yep.
Like they just try to do as much as they can on defense to not blow the game had a game blown out of proportion. Just keep him in the game long enough for Mahomes to get out there and do what he do best. And Mahomes actually did that. They were getting ran on. They were getting passed on. It was like it looked like the Raiders could do whatever they want out there when the Kansas City Chiefs is out there on defense. But at the end of the day, it just showed me that Kansas City on offense is playing around with these teams because they literally ran down the field without a hiccup. Like there were no drop balls, there were no missed time plays, there was no penalties, nothing. They just ran down there, boom. And Patrick Mahomes knew this offense has a lot more to prove. I mean, a lot more to show come playoff time.
I think you're right 100% there. Final game of Week 11 here. The Rams and the Buccaneers. Final score, 27-24. The Rams take the W. And I only have one thought from this game. Tom Brady has looked horrendous in primetime games, and I am finding a lot of trouble as to why. He has Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, Cameron Brady. The list goes on and on and on. A solid defense. And he can't seem to win the important games in his schedule.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know why it is. I really don't understand what is going on in Tampa Bay. But it's just, something's got to happen. Someone's got to figure it out. Someone has to adjust this offense in favor of Brady. Because he cannot be throwing the ball downfield anymore. He cannot be doing it. That's my final thought. That's my only thought.
But I think what I think it is that he just has too many options to go to where it's like, when he was out there with the Patriots, honestly, it was one person that he wanted to throw it to, and that was Edelman. That was the only person that he really wanted to throw it to. Everybody else, it was like all right, if they, if the stars align and I spoke to Jesus and he told me to do this, then I'm throwing it over here. But overall, he was throwing it to one person. Now he's with Tampa Bay. He asked for receivers, and he ended up getting it. And now he doesn't know what to do with it. He has all these guys, all this talent out here, to where you would think like, okay, this is about to be a blowout with all these guys, with all these guys at his fingertips, and it's just not working. He's trying to please everybody. Last week, Mike Evans was complaining. Now he's not complaining because he's getting the ball majority of this game, but then you turn around there, you looking at AB. AB probably is over there, even though he can't say nothing right now, but he's probably in his ear, mad. Chris Goodwin, he's out there, he's probably mad. You know what I'm saying? Grunt, mad. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. And my mama has always said, he was like, be careful with what you ask for because it might end up biting you in your ass at the end. And this is what it's looking like right now.
Exactly. I think you're 100% right there. That's Week 11 in the NFL through the eyes of Stafford and Matthews here. We're on Week 12 now. On Week 12, more than halfway through the regular season here. And the playoff picture is starting to come into more light here. And I'm so excited for the playoffs. So excited. Week 12 around the corner. Stafford and Matthews picks right now. Here we go. Thursday Night Football. Thanksgiving. We got 3 games on the schedule here. We got the Texans and the Lions coming up first. Also, I want to introduce a little bit something here. I'm getting into betting, as I've said, I'm already an addict, but I'm starting to get into more for the show. This is my lock of the week. Plus 130 for the Texans. I'm slamming that. I am slamming that right now. Slamming it. $100. Putting it on it right now. Texans are going to smoke the Lions. I'm taking the Texans.
Absolutely. I'm going with the Texans as well. For sure.
How the hell are they? How are they favored? I mean, not favored. How are they not favored? Like how? How are the Lions favored right now?
I don't see it. I don't see it at all. And maybe they're playing at the, what are they playing at? Detroit? Are they playing at Detroit?
I think it's in Detroit. Yeah. Does it matter? Does it matter?
Only reason. That might be the only reason. I don't
think it matters.
It's like magic in the air or something. I don't know. I wouldn't go for that. I wouldn't never put that. But
yeah. Well, Vegas knows something. Vegas always knows something. So I guess we got to go with them a little bit.
They just making stuff up out there.
They're pretty damn good at their jobs. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to front you. They're pretty good. Anyway, here, the Washington football team and the Dallas Cowboys. And honestly, this is kind of a tough game to dissect here. The Cowboys pulled up an important victory against Minnesota. And Washington beats Cincinnati, which is not really all that impressive. I'm going to go with Dallas here.
You go with Dallas? I'm going with Washington. I'm going to go with Washington on this one because this is going to be a game that's going to determine a lot of things in their division, to be honest with you. And honestly, I like the Washington football team just a little bit more than Dallas in this season, to be honest with you, just off of everything that's been going on. Everything has been going more right for the Washington football team than Dallas. So I'm going with Washington.
You know what I just thought of? You know, I call myself Mr. Thursday Night Football, Joey Thursdays. We have 3 games on Thursday. I might be screwed here. I might actually be screwed here. I'm not happy about that. And it's Thanksgiving. I need a break here. It's a holiday. But anyway, here, the Ravens and the Steelers.
Oh, I'm going Ravens. I already told you. They're not going to beat them twice.
Like I said, Chris, I love free W's.
It's going to be their first loss.
Like I said, Chris, I love free W's. They're my favorite. They're my favorite.
All right.
Cardinals, Patriots. I'm going.
Shit. Hey, the same predicament that I was in with my 49ers, you're in right now. Let's hear it.
I'm going to have to go. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals.
Where's the hand claps? Do I got hand claps on this computer? I need some hand claps on this computer. Yeah, going against your own team. When you sat there and you got on me, Chris, you went against the 49ers, man. I was like, yeah, I know.
I don't sound like that. I don't sound
going
like
against
that.
the Saints. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. Everybody knows that. We were banged up, but now look at Joe. Look at Joe. I'm going for the Cardinals. Man. We don't there's nothing else to be said. I just know that we got you recorded on live right now, going against your team and talking bad about your team. That's a double up. You might as well just move away from that whole East Coast because they're gonna be out looking for you once they hear this.
I got a feeling I'll be in Cali anyway, Chris. Anyway, here. Chargers, Bills, 1:00 football. I'm going with the Bills here, and there's a reason why. Because, like I said earlier, the Chargers cannot close out football games, and Buffalo's defense is playing sublime right now. I'm going with Buffalo.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going with Buffalo as well. Chargers defense is not stopping anybody, especially with all the injuries that's going on with them. And Justin Herbert is just not he just doesn't have it right now in this season just yet because because he's a rookie. But, I'm going with the Bills. That offense is going to roll right through it.
Definitely. Dolphins, Jets. I'm going with the Dolphins here. Not much to talk about.
Yeah, I'm going with the Dolphins as well.
Yeah, take the Jets, please.
Where do they play at? Let's see.
They're playing in New York.
Against the Dolphins?
Hey, Fitz played for the Jets.
Go with the Jets.
Jets, Jets.
I'm putting my hat on right now. I wish I had. Mike needs to send me my stuff, man. I still ain't got stuff to put on. Like I need to put my Jets hat on right now. My little GM hat on right now, or the president hat, and rep right now, man. I'm telling you, the Jets almost got their win and my win in the pick'ems. Just a couple weeks ago who were they playing against? I forget who they were playing against. They almost beat them.
The Patriots.
The Patriots. How did I forget?
You think you're slick. You're not slick. You think you're slick. You're not. You're not. Here we go. Panthers, Vikings. I'm going with the Panthers. I think P.J. Walker, if he's still a starter, actually pulls another victory up for Carolina.
Absolutely not. I'm going with the Vikings on this one.
All right. Browns, Jaguars. I'm going with the Browns, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jaguars gave them a game. I will say that.
Yeah, I think so. I think so as well. I'm gonna go with the Browns, just because they're out there. They're trying to salvage their season. Mm-hmm. So I think the Browns is gonna try to come out and thrash them in this game.
Titans, Colts, both 7-3. A great football game to be sure. I'm gonna go with the Titans. I think Derrick Henry just runs through that front seven of the Colts.
Yeah. Even though I've been looking at the Colts' linebackers and they are playing phenomenal.
Darius Leonard's a top 3 linebacker in the NFL. Top 3.
Yes. Yep. I watched this guy put a whole lineman on his ass on a stretch play. Now, granted, offensive linemen they don't do good going side to side. So it was a little bit of a plus on his side, but at the same time, nonetheless, the dude is 300 pounds. He put him on his ass. So, yeah. I'm going with the Colts. I'm going with the Colts. I like the Colts right now. I'm going with them.
Oh, that little pause. You're like, yeah.
I gotta sit back and I gotta think. I gotta process these things.
That got me a little bit. That got me. Giants, Bengals. I'm going with the Giants. I think Daniel Jones take this W easily. Ryan Finley's not starting. It is starting, but he's not a starting caliber quarterback. I'm going with Daniel Jones and the Giants.
Yeah, I'm going with the Giants as well. I think they'll just come out on top. Nothing special, but they'll come out on top.
Raiders, Falcons, final 1:00 game of the week. I'm going with the Raiders. It shouldn't be a contest either.
Raiders, easy call.
4:05, and this is an interesting game for you, Chris. The 4-6 49ers. Simberger's the Patriots, by the way. Take on the Los Angeles Rams. Who are you picking?
Oh, I'm going with the 49ers. They play the same game. Did we not watch this before in the season? I mean, in the first half of the season?
I'm taking the Rams.
We're gonna have a chance. We're banged up. I know that. I understand that, guys.
When you have to say you have a shot, that means you're not gonna win the football game. I'm going with the Rams.
That's not true, Joe. That's not true, bro. We have a legit shot. The Rams play the same type of game that we play, and the fact that we're injured, it works in our favor because we see this all the time. We're not going to be throwing the ball down the field. That's not what we're doing. We're going to run the ball on the side to side, on the outsides to keep Aaron Donald from getting into the backfield, and we're gonna use our speed. I personally believe that the 49ers are faster than the Rams. So I think we have a shot. I'm going with the 49ers.
All right, Saints, Broncos. I'm going with the Saints. I think Taysom Hill gets a second W, but I would love to see Jameis Winston start the football game. I will say that. I want to see Winston start.
I don't want to see that at all. I want a mid-game change on my pick'ems if Jameis Winston starts and I'm picking the opposite team of him. If he don't start and it's Taysom Hill, I'm going with the Saints. I'm going with the Saints. If not, Jameis Winston starts and he plays this game. You gotta tell Kev, hey, or I'll text him and tell him like, hey man, switch lines over.
All right, sounds like a plan here.
I don't like Jameis Winston in the backfield at all.
All right, sounds good. Chiefs, Broncos, 4:25. Brady sees Mahomes for the first time this season. And I'm ecstatic to see this football game.
I really am.
I'm excited.
This is going to be a nice game.
I'm going to go with Mahomes here because I think Brady probably shrinks again in primetime football. I just don't see him coming up on top right now. I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs.
I don't see Brady shrinking just because of the mere fact that he walked out on the Rams and didn't shake Goff's hand at the end of the game. He seems like he's pretty pissed off right now. So he's
I'd be pretty pissed off too if I was him.
Ready to rip some players and like I said before, the Kansas City Chiefs offense is not great. They're very below average. So I think that he'll go out there and he's going to make some plays and do good. I think it's just going to be the defense that drops the ball this week. Well, I can't even say drop the ball. They're just not going to be able to match up against the Kansas City Chiefs offense.
Fair enough. Fair enough. 8:20 Sunday Night Football, Bears, Packers. Nick Foles goes down. probably out for the rest of the season. So that means Mitch Trubisky will be the starter, presumably. I'm going with Green Bay and the Packers here.
Yeah, I'm going with Green Bay as well. But let's not sit here and act like Mitchell Trubisky can't go out there and win a game, though. He is proving that he can go out there and win a couple games.
Yeah, 2-14 sounds like a great record to me.
Hey, a couple is 2. I was spot on about that.
All right, 2-14. I like that.
Spot on about that.
There we go. I mean, I'm fine with that. I will confidently say Mitch Trubisky can go 2-14. I'll agree with you there. Put that in a shirt. Anyway, 8:15 Monday Night Football. Seahawks Eagles. Why are we talking about this? Seahawks.
I don't know. Shoot, Seahawks is a more aggressive bird than the Eagles bird over there. It just looks like it. You just put the 2 helmets side to side.
But a Seahawk doesn't exist.
Seahawks look a little bit more aggressive than the Eagles. The Eagles look like it's like a pelican or something over there. I don't know, but I'm going with the Seahawks.
Yeah, it's funny. You say it's like more aggressive. Seahawks don't exist. Like they literally don't exist. It's just a hawk flying over the ocean. That's what a Seahawk is.
No, you've never seen a Seahawk? You've never seen a Seattle Seahawk?
No.
For real?
It's just regular hawk.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
I'm gonna Google this real quick.
It has Seahawk on the back of his neck. It's tatted on the back of it on every.
Oh
Seahawk.
no, I thought you meant like the bird was different. We're a bunch of clowns over here. Anyway, I guess so. Week 12 of the NFL is wrapped up. Those are our picks. Hammer them. We're always right about like 60% of the time. 6% of the time it works every time.
More so me than Joe, but
I'm ahead of you in the standings, dude. Don't talk shit.
What are the standings now? What did Kev Fabric bring up now to where you're just a point ahead of me?
Yeah, you want to recount? Are you talking about? You want to recount?
I want to recount.
Stop the votes. Stop the votes. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, week 12 of the NFL wrapped up. Stafford and Matthews. We want to wish you guys a happy and safe Thanksgiving if you're celebrating this year. Chris, I want to extend my family and me personally. I hope you and your family have a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys celebrate and have a great time, have a great meal.
Absolutely. And as well, we want to do the same to you and your family. And also, we definitely want to get that big family picture from you guys. We want the big family picture so we can put up on our mantle, bro. I want you right there in the middle with the 81 jersey right there in the middle.
You're having way too much.
With a turkey just sitting there like, yeah, like this is me. You know what I'm saying? I want to see that. But no. All seriousness to everybody. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Can't wait for you guys to hear this show. Come subscribe, tune in. We have great content, man. Go to the Boston Big 3 website, man. Check out our merch. We have tons of great stuff out there. Cups, shirts, sweats, everything. Joe Stafford's new line of shirts. Show them again, Joe. Show them the Joe Cool. Show them the Joe Cool.
Oh, here we go. Stand up a little bit. Oh,
yes, sir.
That's sexy right there. That's sexy right there.
What I'm saying, man, we're doing a bunch of great stuff over here, man.
Yeah, I meant to tell you actually. We dropped a line of joggers for Stafford and Matthews and like a crew neck, and it's all stitched. It's not printed. It's stitched.
That's that real stuff. I've been trying to tell everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been going around a couple of my homies. They be like, "Hey, man, I'm still waiting on my stuff." I was like, "Man, bro, it's gonna come, but it's gonna be. You gonna love it when it comes." They keep on. Oh man, I don't know. I'm like, bro. I'm telling you, and every time
tell them to buy it,
and they get their stuff, they be like, "Bro, this actually feels good. Like this stuff feels good." I'm like, "I'm trying to tell you, bro. We only work with the best. Like you
exactly.
Look at me. I'm Chris Matthews, bro. Like I'm not gonna work with no subpar people.
We're American made too. We're American made. We don't ship out. American made.
We're not on Donald Trump's train, but we're rooting for America.
Amen. We're staying out of politics though. We cannot be diving into this shit. I don't want to deal with the backfire. Oh, anyway, Stafford and Matthews, episode 11, wrapping up here. Happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe. And we'll see you guys next time.